In the last chapter, Optimus Prime attempts to use the power of the Matrix against Trypticon, but is denied, then gets wrecked by the Monstrosity. While flattened into the pavement, Optimus experiences a moment of doubt before the Dinobots return to provide a helping hand. While the Dinobots are helping against Trypticon, Megatron shows up to gloat over Optimus's apparent failure until he and Grimlock become a midday snack for the monstrous Titan. This is Chapter 12, Belly of the Beast. The story is by Chris Metzen and Flint Dilley. Art and cover by Livio Ramondelli. Letters by Tom B. Long. Editor John Barber. And this is published in August 2013.
All right, we got the Transformers Monstrosity issue number 12 or chapter 12 by IDW.
Megatron and Grimlock have been devoured whole by Trypticon in the last issue, and Optimus's attempt to light Cybertron's darkest hour by releasing the power of the Matrix against Trypticon has failed, leaving Optimus near death. Will Cybertron be destroyed? Or will internal strength and sheer will prevail and save the world from imminent destruction? Tune in with us to find out on another exciting episode of The Transformers.
All right, so where we left off, Megatron and Grimlock had been chomped down by Trypticon, and they are now inside Swallowed Whole. We've got them bantering back and forth at the moment.
I thought that was very interesting. It was very aggressive. You know, I didn't expect that first time I read this.
I didn't either. I just didn't see Trypticon stopping to actually focus on what was happening beneath him, because he stomped him Optimus, and then he waited around while all these guys just gathered and then decided to chomp him. I figured he'd just be swinging his tail, destroying stuff.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if he sensed something. Like there was kind of a big power buildup right there with Optimus, Megatron, and Grimlock.
Yeah, and Grimlock's infused with that special energon as well. So Megatron and Grimlock arguing because they've been just making empty threats at each other, and they're about to have at each other, basically promising to kill each other. And they get attacked by the dragons and the flying, screeching things that Ratchet and them found in the crater. But they're inside Trypticon, as if they're being manufactured inside of him.
Yeah, I think what we kind of discussed, we didn't know if they were being, manufactured or if they were some kind of antibody, for Trypticon. Self-defense mechanism.
Yeah, not real sure. It could be that. It could be the life forms of Cybertron that have been warped and taken up inhabitants inside of him since he's a Titan. You never know, because you saw what it did to Ratchet in just a couple seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we'll see even more in a little bit. Kind of explains the inner workings of Trypticon.
So here you got Grimlock and Megatron back to back, forming an alliance against these dragon beasts. And outside, you've got Trypticon making his way directly towards Metroplex.
That's one hell of an alliance, too. Megatron and Grimlock, think about the power that lies right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much on par with Megatron and Optimus together. Except, Grimlock's just a giant beat stick, whereas Optimus tends to think a little more.
Right, just straight brute force. Yes, sir.
All right, so Ultra Magnus and Bumblebee putting the Matrix back in Optimus.
Yes, Optimus is out for the count right now.
How many times has Orion Pax / Optimus Prime been freaking just destroyed and mangled? This is like the fourth time, isn't it?
Let's see. I remember he gets shot up a lot inside when he uncovers the corrupt police force, and he finds those two inside of his office, and they killed his two motorcycle buddies. He got tore down pretty bad there, but not as bad as this. There was the time that Megatron absolutely ripped him to shreds and blew a hole in his chest, just before he found the Matrix after destroying Zeta Prime. And then there's this where he just gets flattened by Trypticon. That's 3 that I can think of.
One more, unless I missed it, it would be Omega's Conundrum. And he's pretty fucked up, or is that just his face shield gimmick? But I thought he got screwed up pretty bad then too.
He did get a lot of those blades to the face from those weird things in the rust dust place where they were going with Alpha Trion.
Was that in Spotlight Orion Pax, or was that a different one?
That was Spotlight Orion Pax. So I don't remember where Omega's Conundrum is.
Well, right along there, they mentioned about him getting a new body or an upgraded body. Was he like totally messed up, and that's why they gave him a new body? Or, I didn't know if they ever explained that.
I don't remember them actually explaining the very first time he got the new body, because that was right after Megatron Origin that we went into Spotlight Orion Pax. So I think it was just for that particular mission they had upgraded his body per Zeta Prime's orders. But you never know. He could have destroyed him, because I do believe Wheeljack made a comment about him destroying all the bodies he keeps building.
But I think right here, though, also, while they're fixing Optimus, I think Snarl is voicing our gut reactions here. I was thinking, when that first happened, whenever, Megatron and Grimlock got chomped down on, your gut reaction is, oh, God, they're gone. But that's it. They're toast.
Yep.
But then, as you'll find out here, and some so far, that there's a lot they can do in there. It's not just immediate destruction.
So here they are inside the gut again, and it looks like Grimlock may have been swept towards the edge a little bit, thrown over, and Megatron grabs him, basically saying he doesn't get to die yet. And then Megatron realizes, well, here's the plasma cores with the power bases. Maybe if we destroy those, then we can get out of here. So, and you can see the corrupted orange energon that's glowing.
Is this corrupt stuff that is within Grimlock? That orangish energon that's in Trypticon?
Yeah, same stuff that was in the river also.
Yeah, down under the refinery, that's that tainted energon.
Yeah, and the dragons are surging with it as well. So back to Magnus and Bumblebee. Basically, Magnus is talking about acting strategically. Oh, that's one of the dragons. I couldn't tell what this face was. So I wonder what just blasted that. Is that a jet or is that a shard? What is that? Or did they shot that dragon? That's the dragon's head, isn't it?
That's that dragon's head, and shot by, was that sludge? Or is that slag?
Looks like slag to me. Slag's making basically a guess that Grimlock is still fighting inside Trypticon. And then it pans to Grimlock and Megatron real fast, showing that they're actually fighting. Yeah, he's all stained up. They almost made it look blood-like, even though it would have been that orangish energon. Maybe when that energon spills and then quits being usable, like it stops like glowing. When gasoline leaves a gas spot. I wonder if it turns to this dark orange, like a rusty orange.
I think this is interesting right here. It's the duality between Optimus Prime and Megatron. How Optimus seems to be able to bring Grimlock back from the edge of losing control. Charisma and willfulness of Megatron can do the same thing.
Optimus kind of tries to talk him down, like in a more sensical manner. Megatron encourages him to fight it down.
I think they both react equally well to each other, even though they're on opposite sides through the whole course of being in here and working together. It makes you wonder, man, what kind of force would they be together?
It'd be interesting. We'll get into later issues whenever Megatron gets captured by the Autobots and he has that sit-down talk with Prime, and they're discussing those past battles where they've practically incinerated each other over and over. Okay, so it looks like Grimlock goes a little bit mad, just like Berserker mode enough to destroy things. It looks like they destroy one of the cores, or both cores.
I think it was both of them.
That should in effect bring him down.
They just dropped him.
It was another very, very reminiscent again of the '86 movie with his internal defense systems inside Trypticon, how they were trying to detour Grimlock and Megatron, just like those tentacles we were talking about inside Unicron.
Yeah.
So they're all still gathered around Prime, and Cup up here has claimed Grimlock did it, and here we've got Megatron, Ultra Magnus. You're under arrest.
I think I'm gonna let you arrest me today.
Yeah. Megatron comes with his personal guard. Every jet he's got with guns on them.
Yeah, because their military forces are still far superior, I think, to the Autobots.
Yeah. Yeah, just the ability to fly in and of itself gives them a huge superiority over the Autobots.
You would think with all the rebuilds that the Autobots and these Cybertronians go through, that the ability to fly would be just an upgrade away.
Yeah, I wonder how many of them actually get a lot of rebuilds done. We know Optimus got a new body. We know Megatron's gotten rebuilt several times because of the gladiatorial events. You notice he's always kept kind of the tank thing. He used to be a drill tank, and now he's become a weaponized tank, but he never took on flying. Maybe he never felt like he needed it.
Interesting. Ironhide says, you may have us outgunned, but there's no way in hell we're leaving the monster in your hands.
Yeah, it's Grimlock that says this right here. Let him have it.
Okay.
Without all the rage juice, Trypticon's nothing.
True enough. But what if you vow to end me, Grimlock? Is there no rage left within you either? Grimlock says, best assured we'll settle the score, but it'll be me that chooses the arena. So it's ending the way you would think it would. Mutual respect, but we will fight again.
Yeah, basically we've had enough for the day. Let's start on new ground when we're both absolutely fresh and fight it to the death. And the Seekers are wanting to know if they want to take pop shots and mow them all down. Megatron's no. Let them crawl back and nurse their wounds. And then we've got Grimlock carrying Optimus out. So later, looks like maybe nighttime. Megatron is coming back to Trypticon, and he's pulled the spark out that Pentius gave him and inserts it into Trypticon.
I think this would be considered the after credit scene.
Yeah. His Trypticon's eyes aren't orange anymore like the old Energon. Now they're green like Pentius's spark core. And you got a line of his Decepticons just watching Megatron walk away. You got Shockwave. Looks like that might be Starscream. My good old Blackwall right here.
You love you some Blackwall, man.
His power outlet head. I don't know who all the others are. Those are shoulder pylons. That's another Seeker. That's supposed to be Soundwave.
Yeah, that's pretty ominous, how he's walking away. Just always seems like a big mistake, and maybe they had no choice to leave Trypticon in the hands of Megatron. Not sure if they really had a choice, but it seems like a big mistake to me.
Yeah, and if you recall in the previous issues, Metroplex didn't have enough Energon to transform and help him out on this. So what's Metroplex going to do? He's probably still out of Energon. So he's not going to just get up and go grab Trypticon and rebury him. So it's basically everyone leave and hope that nothing happens to Trypticon. And nobody's able to do anything with Trypticon, but nobody knows that Megatron has that spark of Pentius.
No, I think when they made this comic, it was assumed that it was Pentius' spark they put in there. Another comic later, and I'm trying to remember which one it was. I don't remember. They did 100% verify that is Pentius' spark that he put in Trypticon.
It's primacy. They go through that in primacy.
Yeah. So that's the end of Monstrosity, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it picked up quite a bit from its previous arc.
Yeah, more action, not so much brooding and storytelling. Well, still a lot of storytelling, but a lot of bear rage and violence.
And more action, more Dinobots. I like it.
Smash.
Yeah, I mean, it just picked up right at the beginning when they exiled Megatron and tried to overthrow him. But yes, that I think this is a really good story, and I would recommend it to anybody who wanted to read this.
Yep.
They need to do a mini series, kind of a side mini series of what happened to Scorponok called Idiocy.
Yeah.
All the crap that he did that was no reason, just trying to create chaos.
And, you know, Scorponok would probably try to claim that was all part of his plan to get his butt whooped by Megatron. All part of the plan. I think that's it, man.
Yeah, I think that's it. It was a good read.
Looking forward to the final and then moving on to the next arc.
Which will be Primacy. Primacy is a 4-volume set, so we will be going through that per volume.
Yeah, I think the comics will be a little bit longer, so but we can handle it. All right, let's roll out.